Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third edition of Isolation Station Discs. This week we have another one of my friends, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sarah, known as Boots.
Huh, Boots. Tell me about this name, Boots.
Okay, so on the forum that we all used to talk on many a year ago, my username on there was Fairy in Boots. That got shortened to Fibs. And the first time I can remember being called Boots was when I ran the London Marathon in 2012, where I thought I heard Dave and Susan calling Boots from along the embankment, but I couldn't see them. And I can remember crying because I couldn't see them. And that's the first time I can remember being called Boots. And since then, it's been Boots.
So what you're saying is it's all my fault.
Absolutely, all your fault.
Fantastic. I love getting the blame for things. Okay, so tell us what is it that you do? What are your hobbies? What are your passions?
Okay, so I'm a mental health nurse and currently working in nurse education. So I teach nursing associates and help nursing associates to qualify. Um, Currently, in the process, due to the current climate that we're in, I'm teaching skills to nurses about to be redeployed so that the skills needed in order to be able to do their job. And my hobby is a really geeky one. I'm a coin collector and I have been for a very long time, currently concentrating on the 50p and £2 coin collections.
Fantastic. Is there any specific coin that you're missing that you're really looking for?
Yes, the Kew Gardens 50p. Very, very few were made. It, it was made less than a million, I think, and it is the coin to find in coin collecting, and it's worth 50p, but in coin collecting circles, it's worth about 90 to £100.
Fantastic. I'll keep my eyes open. If I find one, I'll sell you it for 50 quid. Okay, what have you started doing that you didn't do before lockdown?
Okay, so those of you that know me and know me quite well will know that I'm a real technophobe. Getting on to hang down to this afternoon was about as much as my limits extend to. But since lockdown, I've started using things like Zoom and Skype and things that have all been quite alien to me in the past.
So it sounds like that when this is over, you'll be able to get a job in IT.
Well, I can do more than turn a computer on now.
Fantastic. That's great. What piece of advice would you have for people who found themselves not being allowed to leave their houses?
I think it's really hard, and I empathise with everybody really who can't go out. But routine is important, to stick to routine, and also I know that's been mentioned before, but also I think to be kind to yourself, and to know that it's okay not to be okay. That everybody is finding this difficult, and also to respect the people that you live near, make sure they're okay, make sure they're fine. You know, don't have extremely loud music in the garden all the time, even though the weather's lovely, because, you know, we have to live next to people, even though, you know, people can't escape from it. And when it's over, we still have to live next door to the same people.
That's a fantastic sound advice. Okay, let's get to the main crux of this. We're here to talk about music. Music, I know, is super important to you, as it is. That's how we met, basically. We met in fields,
It is.
and yeah, without music, we wouldn't know each other. So, um, tell me about the song that's really important to you when you were the age 18.
Okay, so when I was 18, I left home to do my first set of nurse training. I'm dual qualified nurse, and I went off to do my general training when I was 18, and I went to Swindon. The second band I ever saw live was Depeche Mode, and they had a single out in, I think it was 86 though, but in 88 it struck home with me, which was called Shake the Disease. which just seemed to seemed to ring home to the job that I was about to leave home to go and do. So it became quite important then.
It's a cracking track. I absolutely love it. It came out on the 13th of May 1985, and there's a very good reason that I know that, but we'll not go into that now. But also, the name of that track, "Shake the Disease," is probably what everybody's wanting at the moment. Let's get rid of
very
this
much
thing.
so.
That would be fantastic. I also love Depeche Mode as well, but cracking band, cracking band. Tell me about a song that you used to listen to as a child, or that was given to you by somebody, or somehow you discovered that you still listen to right now, and how did you get that track?
I can't remember the first time I ever heard it, but I think I saw it on the television and I've loved it ever since. And that was The House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. It just listening to the song can bring me to tears. I don't know why, but it is my absolute favourite song ever, and it's my go-to song. So when things are really bad and I'm not feeling quite myself, it's the song that I go to. It's The House of the Rising Sun.
That's a fantastic story. Thank you, Sarah. Um, so, um, tell me about an act that you've discovered very recently in the past 12 months, and why are they so amazing, and what is the track that you want to share?
Okay, so this is I Am Warface. First heard I Am Warface when they were supporting the one and only Gary Newman. They supported him quite a little while ago now, but most of my Newman family are really quite heavily into I Am Warface. They go and see them quite regularly and what have you. I haven't been to one of their gigs, I have to say, but just for the past sort of 12 months, I've been listening to more and more of their music. And yeah, that from what I've seen of them on stage, they are very, very animated. They very much enjoy putting on their show, and they do Camden Live, I believe, a couple of times, and they've just got energy and they want you to get up and going, and the music makes you want to get up and go.
That
As in
sounds
not leave, but dance.
it sounds cracking. I've never heard of them, and when you sent me the list of the tracks, I looked and I searched for "I Am Warface," and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was thinking, this doesn't exist. What is this? And it's all one word, isn't it? And not three words.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're looking for it, it's "I Am Warface," all one word. And the track you've chosen is "Say My Name." Is that a cover of Destiny's Child, or is it their own track?
I don't know, would be the answer to that. But it's the one that just every time I hear it makes me think of them.
Fantastic. Excellent. So, music is phenomenal, but live music has this special thing in most people's hearts. So, what is the song that, the live track that you either saw or you really wished that you'd been there for that track?
Okay, this is really hard, and if you asked me today, it would be different to the list I gave you, I expect. It was a toss-up between Gary Newman live at the Royal Albert Hall with full orchestra and Stevie Wonder at Glastonbury. And I think Stevie Wonder, Superstition at Glastonbury won the toss of the coin, really. It's a time that I will never forget. We always spent all of that day in the Pyramid Field with festival family. And I can remember, I think one of my outstanding memories from that particular song and that gig was standing on the edge of the Pyramid Field with Ian Pinkett, and the pair of us were in tears just looking at the lights and listening to the music and the people that we loved around us. And yeah, it was just a really, really special time, one that I shall probably one of my best Glastonbury moments ever.
Fantastic. And Ian is the same chap that we interviewed last week. So
Yes.
yeah, we know a lot of people. And I was shocked that you didn't have Gary Newman on your must see list, because we all know how much of a Newmanite. Is that the correct term? Is it Newmanoid?
Numanoid.
Newmanoid, right? Yeah. How much of a Newmanoid you really, really are. So
He is on my playlist though.
I know, of course he is. So tell us about that. Which track did you choose? Which Newman track?
The Fall.
So most people are not going to know that. But
No,
give us a
it's
bit
one
more
that he
context.
doesn't play live very often either.
Right,
But
okay.
it's one of my favourite tracks of his. And
Um,
it's just has meaning for me.
okay. What era was that? Because most people know Cars and Our Friends Electric, and that was the end of Gary Newman's career, surely, is what most people would think.
No!
But you understand why I say that.
Absolutely. No, this is his more recent stuff. His more recent stuff has got a more indie rock element to it. He's a very big Nine Inch Nails fan, and it has a little bit of sort of Nine Inch Nails sort of interlinked with it. It's much heavier, it's much rockier, and it's completely different to Cars. Me and my friends actually calls Cars the tea break time. So when he plays Cars, it's tea break. So it's the time for we catch up on Twitter with our friends, or it's the time that we used to go to the bar or go to the loo. It's kind of not our favourite song of his at all.
I have exactly the same with my orbital friends. We refer to them as toilet tracks, and it's sort of like I hope the toilet track's coming on soon because I really need to go. And it's one of those that everybody else who are not fanatical, I would say, are there to see. Cool. Out of all of the tracks that you've got, which track would you say is the must listen to? If people have only got 10 minutes to look at your playlist, which track is it that you would say listen to this one?
Well, it would take up most of those 10 minutes, and that's Black Sabbath's War Pigs, because it's just a very emotional song. If you listen to the lyrics, they're very emotive. The music is exceptional. It's a fantastic piece of music. I'm a bit of a metalhead at heart, and I absolutely love Black Sabbath, which is where Fairy in Boots, which then shortened to Boots, originally came from. And it feels like we're in a war at the moment. So I think it's very apt to our current climate as well.
I'd agree. War Pigs is a phenomenal track. I've only seen them live a couple of times, but when they play that, it's just electrifying in that room. It's just phenomenal.
It is. It's one of their best ever tracks. Apart from Fairies Wear Boots, of course.
Of course. There's one other track on there that I wanted to discuss, because there was this time that we had this day at Glastonbury. We had a whole weekend really, but there was this special day where we went to see the Specials, and I see that you've chosen Ghost Town. Do you remember
Yes.
that day?
Yes, I do, very much so. I can remember being on Rufus' shoulders and being petrified.
It was it was a nice hot sunny day. Was it 2010 or was it 2009?
9, I think.
Yeah, it was one of those 2 years. But yeah, phenomenal time. And I
Yeah.
think that's the day that I really got to, or the weekend that I really got to know you very well.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the day before we got to see Ray Davis, hadn't we, in the acoustic tent, and that was just phenomenal. I think you, I, and Struthers were crying our eyes out.
We were all three of us were in tears.
Yeah, fantastic. Whilst we're in lockdown, we've got lots and lots of time. So, what book could you recommend to people that you think maybe most people have not read this?
Okay, so this is one of my favourite books, I'm quite old, so this book is quite old in itself. I had to read this when I was at school for English. I left school a very long time ago, and the book is Z for Zachariah. I had a real job to get a copy of it a couple of years ago because I wanted to reread it. It's a book about a nuclear bomb. A nuclear bomb goes off, and it's about a lady or she's a young girl actually, who lives in a Welsh valley, and she could manage to grow some vegetables and that in the ground that hadn't been affected by radiation. And if I tell you much more, it kind of gives the story away, but yeah, I would suggest reading it. It's a really good book. It is based for younger people. It's a younger sort of children's book, but I would say teenagers, but no, a really good book, really good read.
Fantastic. I will put a link on your page to that book somewhere. I assume you can find it on the website somewhere. Okay, so final question. What is it that you're most looking forward to doing after lockdown is finished?
Going back to parkrun. I've been parkrunning for about 15 years, and had we not have had lockdown in August, I would have done my 200th parkrun. But for going back to parkrun and seeing my friends, being able to run with people again, and being able to hug the people that I've missed so much.
I think hugging's definitely on the cards for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you very much, Sarah. It's been amazing. Check out Sarah's playlist. You'll find a link to the playlist on this page. There's a version on YouTube and there's a version on Spotify. Choose whichever you want. The version on Spotify doesn't have Stevie from 2010, but it's got a version of Stevie from Osaka in 1995. So same song, just not the one, because it's not on Spotify. But thank you very much, and we appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you, and stay safe, everyone.
Surrendered himself.